my name is Tori Peters and I am an entrepreneur, artist, and author and illustrator of the book, The Power of Words for Teens. So today we are going over shading. Now if you saw yesterday's video, it is just contour drawing, or just honestly normal drawing. And so today we are actually going to be going over the actual shading of our drawing from yesterday. So yeah, I'm going to honestly enjoy this a lot, and I think you guys will as well. Yeah, we're going to be adding a shadow to this apple that I took a bite of. If you didn't see yesterday's tutorial, then go check it out because it will definitely be helpful to you, I'm sure. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. So, and if you want to be caught up, then you should probably go check out yesterday's video, but then you can come back and watch this video. If you don't really care about yesterday's video, then honestly it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I think you should still go watch it because it does go over some pretty important basic concepts. But today we are going over shading, so maybe you're just here to see some of the shading tips that I have. And yeah, we're just going to be shading it with like normal pencil lead because most of my colored pencils, which is what I like to use when I do like colors and things like this, are down at my other house at the moment. So yeah, I don't really have them with me because we just moved. So yeah, we're not going to be doing any color shading right now, but that's okay. We're going to be going with what we've got. Sometimes in art, that you just kind of got to go with it. So I added this like extra shadow thing here because in the room I'm in, I actually have a light on and I have the window, which is like right there. So there's two shadows on my apple, so I added that. And then there's also like two different light sources from like the angle that I'm at right now on my apple, so I'll be putting that in there as well. And yeah, so we're going to be going over and using the same drawings as we made yesterday with this tutorial as well. So that's the other reason why you should go back and watch the other tutorial, is so that you can draw this apple with me. Or you can draw whatever object that you can use whatever object you used to draw this drawing yesterday. So yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and jump straight in. So I'm gonna start with this. As you can sort of see, I don't know if you can see in the video, but there will be a picture. There's a lot more shadow down here at the bottom of the apple. So that's going to probably be where it's the darkest, and I can put it a little bit some down here as well because there is a little bit of shadow there too. But the way you're gonna do it is you're probably gonna make this part down here the darkest underneath your apple, and you honestly want a nice big outline as far as the shadow goes, and you don't want to make your shadow as dark as your outline for your apple. Okay, so you want it to obviously not be a part of your apple here. And this is going to get a little bit interesting because with the two shadows, for me, I want one to be darker than the other one. So they're overlapping as well, right? So this is the second shadow for the apple itself, and you want to make it the shape of the apple because it's being cast by the apple, so it needs to be pretty close to the shape of the apple as well. And this shadow is actually going to be, for me, going to be darker than the shadow that I drew yesterday because it's overlapping it. So you want to make sure that your other shadow is not quite as dark. One tip that is super helpful for this is when you're drawing, make sure that all your drawing strokes are going in the same direction. especially like beginners will just sort of color it in, or like you see little kids doing this all the time. Well, they'll just sort of color in where it's easiest and at the angle that like their hand feels the best at or whatever at the time, and they'll end up with like strokes all over, and you don't want that. You want it all to be going in the same direction, sort of like how wood always the grains always go in the same direction. There's never ones that are like, wow, where'd that come from? Like, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that all of your strokes and things are all coming in the same direction. Now, when you're doing things that are like, we'll start with the inside of this apple, right? So there's actually like little pieces and things in here that are a little bit darker than other pieces inside like the bite of the apple, right? And there we go. And then this part is actually probably the darkest of all, because it's where a nice little chunk was taken out of it too. So it's a little divot in the apple there, and you can make the outline of this that way super obvious. That's a bite taken out. Wow. And you kind of want, when you're doing it, because it's sort of round here, you want it to, this will be darker here because there is a shadow right there and you can sort of see it. And actually, it would probably be closer to like there. So you put it in, see, I almost like totally went sideways on that stroke there. Even I forget to do that sometimes. And see, then this part right here is darker than this part there. And then I don't know if I can get any lighter, but I'm gonna try on this part here. Yeah, there we go. See, and what you can do is you can layer the way that that the strokes go. So like this one, the strokes are all going down, but to show that it was like a totally different layer and like a depth, I made the strokes going sideways here. And one tip, as you can see, I'm sort of like smudging the pencil lead across my drawing. And one way to avoid doing that is by grabbing a separate piece of paper. And honestly, I've used this as like a drip cloth for like past few videos anyway, this piece of paper. I haven't bothered to throw it away yet. So, but you can put it underneath your hand and you won't smudge lead across your page after that. And actually, this part right here is just completely light, so I think I'm just gonna leave it white like that. I'm not even gonna bother to fill it in right there. See that little like piece there? That's this, there's like a line right there. I'm gonna just use it as a highlight and not even bother to actually fill it in. Although I am going to erase the lines that I put there to show that it was there. If I put a pencil eraser onto my apple, then I have to eat it too. So we're not gonna do that. And then as you can sort of see, there's like, yeah. On the apple itself, it's got like texture and stuff into it. So I'm just gonna go in and sort of add that. Wow, it looks like a strawberry now, almost. And add that in there. Sort of show. Okay, so when you're doing, like, I'm gonna do this top part here now, and I don't know if you can really see it, so I'm gonna zoom in. Alright, so now I'm doing this top part of the apple here, and this top part of the apple is roundish, so what we're gonna do is, I left this part for the shading tutorial, even though, like, it is part of the apple. I wanted to make it, I normally use stuff like that to help shade things as well. So That's why I left it for this part. Obviously the apple is round, so you kind of want to give it like a rounded piece there. And then it's darker on the inside down here. So we're going to connect that all the way down to the bottom. And then give it a sort of shadow around the stem there. And then we'll just sort of run the eraser across it because those lines are pretty dark. Cool. Let's do this actually. And then we'll go, so it's really light on this side of it, and actually right about here there's a highlight. So what we're gonna do is we'll just outline this highlight here. I think it's about going in that shape. And then there's a second highlight right there because there's two light sources. So yeah, and actually I feel like, yeah, that's about where that's at. And we'll just go ahead and start taking some strokes down this way, just to sort of make it round, you know. And if I had colored pencils, this is how I would be making the strokes on the colored pencils as well. We'll do it, and this side can actually be a lot darker and closer together because this is the side that's in the shadow. And actually I do it for whatever reason, my apple is actually darker on this side anyway. So yeah, that's fun. And then there's like a pattern right there. And I'm really wishing I had my colored pencils right about now because that would be really nice. I moved it. Okay, there we go. Right. Okay. So there you go. All right. So there is the side-by-side shading and what the subject was for this particular video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Honestly, this is probably the most basic like shading techniques we could use. I really wish I had my colored pencils with me right now. So that I could actually do some really cool stuff with that. But for right now, this will honestly get you super far as just drawing in general goes. So yeah, use these tips to help you out, and until next time guys, I will see you later and have a great adventure today. Bye! Cool. And now I get to eat my apple.